So yeah, that's the formula.
What is the formula?
I can't tell
Dude,
you.
I'm so confused.
The formula is.
I feel like we're getting right now.
I feel like this is his strategy to get girls, is to make up.
Oh, honey.
Welcome to the OHoney podcast.
Where you get the sticky and the sweet with Summer.
And Amanda and
George.
Janko.
George of the jungle. George of the jungle.
Yo, by the way, I am so excited to be here, guys. I heard this is the stickiest and sweetest podcast in the
What?
world.
Who told you?
You guys, right before we started. You
Oh,
told me
you're
to
good.
that.
Say this.
He pays attention. That's what we like in our men.
Yep, I pay
A
attention.
listener.
A
love
good
a listener.
listener. And George is an actor. You just did a movie with Keegan Allen, who
I
we
did.
also had on the podcast.
He was actually our first guest.
He is a handsome man.
He is.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and he's like.
And he rides motorcycles.
I did too. We had our Harleys together, and then I
Yeah.
had to get rid of mine because my mother said she'll kill me.
Yep, and smart mom, because those things can get dangerous. All the guys with their Harleys are like, no, it's life.
No,
And
but
then
my mom rides
But I will admit, I don't think I've ever had that much attention with females when I got off.
Really?
The bike. It's
Wow.
crazy.
Oh, no, don't
My
say
mom
that,
rides
though.
motorcycles, but in Colorado it's different. LA, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah,
out here.
here
So
it's
many
like-
people.
That's the real reason why. Like my mom
Yeah.
was crying on the phone. A drunk driver almost hit me, and I almost flew into a semi truck.
Not everybody has a story. Our friend Bo just broke his ankle and his whole foot just from
Sliding?
No, he fell off a dirt bike, I think.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's really
In
not
LA,
worth it.
there's just so much going on.
They're on their phone.
Yeah, and there's so many people,
It's
and there's so
not
much
you.
traffic, and people.
It's them.
Yeah, like in
Which
Colorado,
I'm sure you've heard a
my
lot
mom
in
likes
your
to
life.
just go through the mountains, and it's not as dangerous, you know, because there's not as many people. The more people, more danger.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep, this is true.
Stranger danger.
I wanted to say that, but it didn't make sense for the topic.
Yeah, but I don't
kind of
care.
did.
Yeah,
Actually,
I
if
don't.
you
I
think
say
about
what's
it.
on my mind. You
George
know?
is like,
Yo, I was realizing, you're like, you guys can say anything. You're just so fun to look at. You guys are like just super into it. I'm like, yeah, I've watched this podcast all day.
Yeah, but
like-
the listeners that are in the car right now, they're like, yeah,
like-
not enjoying this. Beep.
hopefully not.
Just kidding.
Guys, don't turn us off. Give us a chance.
There's
Me
a
and
guy hopping in the
George.
butt. He's like, all right.
Yeah,
He's like, all right, since you said please.
Fine. So,
like,
how was shooting that movie with Keegan?
It was
You know,
sweet and sour.
yeah,
Because I was super nervous because I started my acting career last year.
yeah.
And it was
Disney,
yes.
Nickelodeon.
Yes, so it was a bunch of proving myself. It was kind of like when we met. Like, I came into this world and everybody was so successful, and
So
I was
you just
like,
talked a lot.
talked a lot, man. I confused everybody. So
You do make an impact.
Great impressions.
Thanks,
Like first
thank you.
impressions. My first impression of George was him singing, serenading. Yeah, I think you sang
in the
to me.
hallway as you were walking, singing to you.
Speaking of singing, aren't you starting a music career?
Yes, I just released my second single. My first single I released for fun, like 2 years ago, just to see if I could, because I love writing music.
I'm in this music video.
You are.
Yeah.
Yes, you were in the recent music video.
Yeah.
You're dancing right over here.
I was like,
Yeah, it was kind of exciting. I wrote it and I didn't think much of it. This was before I started YouTube, so I didn't have that many buzz on my name. And then you shared it, and a few of my friends shared it, and all of a sudden it got a few million streams. And then one thing led to another, and I was at a red light, and I heard somebody playing my song, and I was like, yo, that was the coolest feeling.
love it.
that's amazing.
Inspiring. You're like, more and more and more.
Yeah.
Motivating.
No, I held off. I was like, yo, I gotta make sure the craft.
But that
is-
was your core, I feel like. That's what you always
loved
loved
it.
most was
Love it.
music.
Yes.
And you love acting, but I feel like music is like your...
It's like my passion. It's like
Yeah.
what I'm excited about. I'm not I tell people this. It doesn't pay my bills.
Yeah.
But acting for me is like breathing. It doesn't take much for me to act.
No, you're great at it.
Yeah.
Like even when we would rehearse auditions and stuff, like you would come over and you just memorize the lines in a second and be like, all right, cool. Can you go and do the, he looks at it once, he's like, I got it. I'm like, George, pick up the paper and just read the line. You're like, I got it. I'm like,
Does he actually get it?
yeah.
Yeah.
There's some people who are like that, and then they're like,
The reason I'm like that is because so I have really, really bad dyslexia. Like
So
extremely
he has
bad.
to memorize.
I will never be able to be a co-anchor on a news channel. Like when they're
Yeah.
reading that, no chance.
He'd be
like
like,
no
can be
chance.
on OHoney, because there's some stuff we're gonna read later. And actually now, Let's have him read it.
No, I'll panic and I'll start sweating.
Really, just like
Yeah, but you give me a script, like cold reads. They give you a script, and then 5 more minutes later, you go into the room. I'll have the whole thing memorized before.
Wow.
I will not read in front of people. I can't. Won't do it.
Well, it's a blessing.
A blessing and a curse, because sometimes in interviews they'll hand me stuff, and I'll literally on the interview, and I said, no, I'm not reading it.
Well, we're here to talk about love, life, and relationships, and I know people say, I forget who it was on the last podcast.
He's a hopeless romantic.
Yeah, hopeless romantic. I think I said that.
Yeah, I think you did. And you love romantic movies?
Yeah.
I love it. I say this. I say
strong advice.
Yes, I say I'm a hopeless romantic in a world where romance is clingy. Yeah, I will say every time I've ever dated a girl and we've become friends afterwards, she says that I really wish I appreciated what I was getting at the time. I'm really good if I walk away, I'm out. I can't go back, because to me it's already damaged. You know what I mean? The relationship.
Have you ever gone back?
Yes, I have, and it's just the worst thing in the world. It was the worst, because you just open up that wound, you just.
Yeah.
It's like a stitching, and then somebody just slices it open, hey, try this again. This is great, and you're like,
you know that thing where it's like a broken mirror, you can never piece it back together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the crack, bad luck. Yeah. By the way, don't break mirrors. Superstition.
Yeah.
Don't break mirrors. Yeah. Oh wait, I think I have broken a mirror or two before in my life.
Oh no.
By looking in it.
Well, hopefully
No
it was 14 years ago.
No chance.
But-
if I look at it and didn't break, you're good. You're good.
Okay, so you've done that a couple times before. Is that where your rule came from, or was that you breaking your rule of don't go back to the girl?
Yeah, I feel okay, so now I've grown up, so my look on love is not as the same as it used to be. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in soulmates.
Yeah.
I believe that love, everything that you love, needs work. Mm-hmm. So I think nowadays people like to give up. I've never ended a relationship in my life, ever. It's always them ending it with me, and I'll say this live. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, they're they get me the fuck out of. No, but I could say this clear on camera, and no girl would be able to walk up and say that was not true. Every single one of those girls came for me back, because the guys that they're with now, they give up, or they're not putting enough effort in the relationship. Relationship is all about making the other person feel the best that they could be. If you're with a guy that's not making you feel the best that you could be, then you're okay, the other half is damaging. It's an anchor now.
Yeah.
So if you're not with somebody that's mentally stimulating you plus physically stimulating you, then it's a pointless relationship.
What would you say is the ratio? What's the ratio for mentally versus physically stimulating?
Oh, it's 50-50. And I'll tell you why. Because a lot of people are girls are oh, sex is not a big deal. You're fucking weird. That's dumb. If you are not physically wanting to jump the bones of your lover, then that's 50%.
Jump the bones.
You know what I'm saying?
Jump the bones.
Jump the bones.
Because any good man, there's a lot of good men that ended up cheating, and to me, it's why did that happen? There had to be a reason why. It's either your girlfriend was physically giving it all for you, or you weren't to them. To me, cheating is not in the
mature enough yet.
Oh my God! If you're cheating, to me you're a coward. Because if your word is not your bond, then to me you're literally worth nothing.
Yeah.
You could be worth millions of dollars, but if I can't trust you as far as I can throw you, then why are you even at my table? It doesn't make sense. So once I have that question with a girl, if I ever in my mind, I'm oh, I should go through her phone, or I should question her. To me, it's I don't even want to be in this relationship anymore. You've put me in a position where I don't trust you. And that to me is pointless. Because in a relationship that I want to be in is I want to thrive. I want to be doing my own work, knowing that my girl's conquering her business. And then when we meet in the middle, because here's the thing, relationships are building a future of a family. So if you're with somebody, you got to see that characteristics that you want in your children. So if I'm with you, and in my mind I go, man, I really wish my kids don't have this part of her, then you're out. You don't need to be with that person. And now I tell people to be with somebody that has patterns and not potential. So if you're with somebody, you're oh, this person's so great, but I wish he was more like this. Then you're falling in love with an illusion. That thing's not there. You're wanting that person to be something else.
You can't change them.
You can't. If nobody's going to change for themselves, they're definitely not going to change for you. So now I go with pattern, and I see the same pattern in somebody, and I fall in love with that pattern, then I'll go after that person. But I'm not going to sit there and have a mirage as a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I feel George's next bio is going to be love therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah. How to Love by George
He just
Janko.
comes on podcasts and speaks about love. No, but
really
you
is
actually
good at
give
it.
great advice. Like, and it's like passionate. Like you're passionate about what you say and what, your feelings and, your perspective on things too. And I think that's great. That resonates with people too of like, oh, he truly believes in this. Like, all right, I feel it. Like,
I always told people growing up, I actually just had a conversation with a 7-year-old.
oh, the best.
Yes, and she
Yeah.
was sitting next to me and she goes, there's this girl at school and she copied my shoes and now none of the girls are wearing the shoes that she's wearing. And I was like, you're bullying this girl.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, but she's weird. And I was like, but why is she weird? And she's like, because she's so mean. She like just goes to school and like bullies people, stuff like that. So we just call her Weird Allie or something like that. And I was like, can I
Weird
ask-
Al.
Yeah, right? And I go, does mom and dad love you? And she goes, yeah, of course. I go, are you happy? She's like, yeah. So I'm like, when you go to school, are you happy with everybody? She goes, yeah. I'm like, because you get that love from home. Now switch it on her. What do you think she's getting at home? And she was like, you think she gets bullied by her mom and dad? And I go, I don't know. If you're getting love at home and you're only giving love at school and she's giving ugliness at school, what do you think that's coming from? And she's like, maybe her mom and dad. And I go, okay, now is it fair that you give her more? I'm like, don't you think you should just give her a break when she's at school? And now she like changed her whole atmosphere. So like
That's a great perspective to give.
you,
That's good.
I love that.
if you
Me
don't,
and Amanda are definitely using that. So
Yeah, we're like, yes, yes.
yes.
yeah,
yes,
so
noted.
you just like, my 7-year-old daughter's gonna have this conversation.
Very good.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like I got bullied a lot in school because I talked a lot and I was very hyper and everything. But at the end of the day, my parents, yeah, shocking.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't quiet. I got a lot of love and I loved myself. And I think that's a huge thing people need to work on. Because if you hate yourself, you're gonna end up hating other people. So if you love yourself to the point where you have nothing that you hate about yourself, and mind you, everybody has things they don't like about themselves, but that's fixable. You can fix that. So once you work on yourself, then you can work on others, if that makes sense.
And I think the steps to loving yourself is just, I find the most happiness when I'm giving kindness to others.
Yeah.
And like creating happiness in other people. That's when I'm like my most genuine like version of happiness.
Exactly.
So it's like, that's a great way to do it. Also just like working on your health, on your like taking care of your body and like respecting your body.
Yeah, for sure. Different foods, like if you keep eating fast food every single day, you're mentally like gonna drain yourself. Because I
Yeah.
remember one time I was just eating fast food all the time. I was really upset one morning.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like the way I was getting acne. I was getting like kind of
Yeah.
chubby. It was like, yo, your physical standpoint reflects on your mental standpoint a lot.
And the guilt. I feel like
Yeah.
deep down that it's bad. So it's like just the guilt. It's like
Building.
Yeah,
guilt
yeah.
building, So it's
Yep.
like mentally it's like messing with your brain because it's like I know I shouldn't do this and I want to change, but
What's another step? Because I think that's, people get it. They're like, yeah, I hear it. Self-love, love yourself. I get it. Like, I
that's
want to love
easier
myself.
said than done.
Yeah.
But how do I do that? It's like, okay, those are some steps that off the top of my head that really help. Trying to think of what else I can tell you guys. Anything?
I guess
help?
my standpoint is like a higher power. I find whatever higher power you believe in and focus, because it's humbling. When you have the weight of the world on your shoulders and you think that you're the highest power in your life, sometimes it's a little much. So you have nothing to lean on. And that's why I lean on my religion a lot to make me
See,
a
Well,
better
to
person.
help determine your values and your
course,
morals.
of
And
course.
yeah, I think that helps a lot of people.
And I think it keeps you humble because I think a lot of people who are they think that they are God,
Oh my
so
God.
it's like
Well, there's a huge difference between somebody who's religious and like, just, looking to it, but not just putting everything on it, and just using it as an excuse for things too. It's like, I feel like when people are just like, yeah, this is my religion, these are my beliefs, this is what I do, and like, I think anytime you take something to an extreme, it
Of
gets
course, anything.
dangerous.
Everything's in moderation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I know you're super religious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that your family, the rest of your family is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
way too?
I was born into
Catholic?
it, and then I just found my own way. My parents were never like shoving it down my throat.
Yeah.
But then when I learned the love of my own relationship, I realized that this is the move for me. I actually came into this. I came into Hollywood, and the first prayer I said when I first moved here, I go, if it takes me an inch away from God, I want it miles in front of me. And so like now that I'm in it, I think I'm the same person I was when I first met
yeah.
you.
No,
and I had like $100 in my account. Like
Yeah.
I told people, if you value your life and love off of money, then dude, you're just gonna keep spending the like random crap.
But I think that's why like you still have the same friends. Like you have the exact same friends from when I first met you. Like I met you at the broadcast center.
Yeah.
Like in 2013,
Yeah.
2000, right?
2014, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
And with Logan and
Yeah,
Jake.
Logan,
and
Jake,
yeah,
Mark.
Yeah,
Mark's
and
my
Mark.
roommate right now, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, who's this guy? Like, coming,
this guy?
just singing everywhere he goes, and always like positive energy, and just like.
I was so shook that this was
Yeah.
our life. Like,
Yeah.
till this day, it still happens, but I remember every single day I was like, I was so convinced, and this is not a joke. When I used to shoot videos with you and Logan, I used to tell my mom, I'd be like, yo, I was so convinced that one day I'm just gonna wake up and it was all a dream. Like, that's how happy I was, that I was like, yo, this is our life, we shoot videos.
Yeah,
And
so
we-
lucky.
Yeah, it was crazy. Not that it's gone, but like, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Not
cool,
that it's over.
but, you know, now. But you're single now.
I am. I am
Single ladies.
Yep,
Links below.
yep, I'm single. They're like, wait,
Ready
he's
to
giving
mingle?
dating advice and he can't even hold down a relationship?
Are you ready to mingle, or are you just kind of like being single?
I love being single right now just because, so this is a downside of being a romantic. When you give in a relationship, I give too much. So like that whole year I was in a relationship, it was like a write-off. Like I didn't do anything that year. I was like really focused on the relationship and I realized that I don't know how to multitask. Because everything I do is like 100%. So the new relationship was there and I was like, oh, I'm gonna make this work. And it
It
wasn't.
gives you you put your all into it, so then you can't you can't do other things.
No.
Do you think that like the reason maybe why they haven't like lasted, you're also very young, but
Yes.
like why they haven't like lasted long periods of time, right?
Yes.
Is maybe because you do that. You're like, this is everything. And then
Yeah.
it's also like at the same time they're like, no, I liked the George too that was just like hustling, working on his things
Yeah.
and like so focused on that, like
Yeah.
that George too. Like they wanted both of those Georges.
100%. I think it's two things. I think it's one, it needs to fit. You can't, working for a relationship and making it work is one thing, but trying to make something fit that doesn't fit is different.
Yeah.
So I was doing that. I mean, I didn't even know who the person I was dating until after we were dating, and I found out so much stuff, and I was like, holy cow, like if I just knew 10% of this, I would have been
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
completely. I blame myself, but I'm happy because I went through that bullshit. So like when I do meet the love of my life, that is like, okay, this is gonna be the girl that I have my kids with, or I'm gonna take care of. I'm going to know I made all my mistakes. I've learned from my mistakes. So I'll be able to appreciate her even more. So when I'm in a relationship and things are not going out, because I had a bad problem with not bottling things up, but like I don't think a guy should ever swear in front of their girlfriend. That's one. I'm very old school. I think you can get loud.
Gentleman.
I think you can get loud and you can get your point across. If you're joking around with your girlfriend or your boyfriend and you're like, oh, like, yo, what the frick was that? LOL, and then you just start laughing, that's fine. But if you're in an argument and you're like F, and then you're like swearing at each other, to me it's tacky. That's trash. Don't do that. Don't bring that into my home.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
not respectful.
It's not respectful. This one guy, you know him too. I'm not gonna mention who it is because I'm not gonna put him on blast. But he had his girlfriend, and he was just talking to her heavily
yeah. I already know.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I pulled him aside and I go, hey man, can I ask you something? Just one thing. And he goes, what? I go, if a stranger walked up to your girlfriend right now and talked to her the way you were just talking to her, what would you do? He's like, oh, I'll beat his ass. And I go, then why is the love of her life talking to her like this?
Exactly.
I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't add up. Like, how could you tell somebody you love them and then completely disrespectful? And not only that, they weren't even in a private setting. They were in front of people.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't care who you are. If you ever disrespect me in front of people, that means you don't care about us. Because when you're in a relationship, you're not by yourself anymore. Whatever she does reflects on me. Like, my ex wanted to do this very, very, very distasteful video. And I was like, okay, you've done so much in your life, you don't need to make that step. That's like, I need
It's
to.
not elevating
It's
you.
not elevating your career.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, what is it to you? It's not you. And I go, you have got it all wrong. Because like everything you do now reflects on my character. So like if you go and punch an old lady in the face, they're gonna be like, who's making love to this girl? Because like somebody's making love to this girl.
Well,
Like,
even at that point, it's like you have to reflect and be like, that's what she's doing.
yes.
Yeah, I'm good. You know, it's
Yeah.
like you have to, that's when you analyze it. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying, how it reflects on you, but at the same time, you reflect on it, and then it pushes you away more just because you're like, I don't want
100%.
that.
And people like that are listening right now, it's not that I don't argue with the people that I love. Because I learned when I was a kid, my mom and dad were yelling at each other, like heavy yelling at each other. I was like 18 years old. It was the first time I ever said the F word in front of my parents. I was heated.
Yeah.
Came downstairs. My dad like broke a plate, very Italian setting.
Yeah.
Broke a plate, was screaming,
Opa.
and they were like this close to each other's face, screaming at the top of their lungs.
Yeah.
And I go, why don't you guys just get a fucking divorce already?
And they're like,
And my dad just started cracking up. He's like, what are you talking about?
we're just talking.
And I was like, yo, you guys are yelling at each other. He goes, I get it out of our chest because when we lay at night, we know where we stand and we love each other. And then I said, well, what about so-and-so next door? Their parents never like they never yell at each other. Why could they make it work? He goes, we'll talk in the future when you're older and you understand. A year and a half later, that parents that I was quoting divorced because they never got out what was in their chest. So arguing is fine. It's just the respect you can't cross the line.
Argue away.
Argue away for sure. Yeah, argue, but just don't disrespect.
Communication.
I was so good at arguing, guys.
You were like a lawyer. You got out your briefcase.
The king at arguing. Let me give you one example. Here's one thing that I take pride in. No one will ever beat me in a conversation. Because I'll never open my mouth unless I know 100% I'll demolish them. So I'm sitting on Instagram and I'm a jealous
George
man.
is single.
Yeah, 100%. They start realizing they're like,
He's like, guys, you guys can't argue. Demolish.
yeah, 100%. Don't be a bitch. You better win that argument.
Demolish them.
So I was on Instagram. I'm sweating this onesie. I was on Instagram one time, and I'm a jealous guy. I'll let you guys know right now. You could talk to my girl at the club. I'll let her do her thing. Because if you bring a beautiful girl around, you're dumb if you think no guy's gonna want to talk to her. Let her do her thing. Don't be weird. But if a guy touches your girlfriend or crosses the line with conversation, so you step in and be like, yeah, I'll beat your ass. But like,
Or you just walk up and be like, hey, babe.
But then it goes
Nice to
to
meet
if you can trust your girlfriend, then anyone can talk to him.
100%.
A lot of girls
100%.
can own
But if
their-
they grab their thighs or something, like that's when you come
And
in
the girl
as a
looks
gentleman.
over like,
Yeah. You gotta let her do her thing, because here's the thing: she's been on this planet way before you, so she's probably gonna be fine without you. So like, you gotta let her do her thing. But I was on Instagram one time and I just see my ex just liking all these buff dudes with their shirt off, and I'm a comedian. I'm not rocking an 8-pack, so I'm just kind of looking at this. I'm like, kind of bothers me. I was like, man, because we're on social media, so that's like, if you were doing that like all the time on guys, it just reflect bad on him. He's like, oh, he's not providing enough for her, and she's like looking at Instagram for like satisfaction.
yeah.
So instead of being like a wuss about it and going up to my girl and be like, yo, like, could you not do this because it hurts my feelings?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I gotta let her know, because a girl at the end of the day, the girls that I like are very like macho and like very arrogant. I love arrogant girls because they're very on their own. They're very like CEO status. So you can't just come up to them with a problem that they cause, because they never cause a problem ever. So I got in the car. I waited 3 days because obviously, you gotta be patient. And I turned to her and I go, hey babe, just want to let you know. And by the way, while I was doing this, I was eliminating excuses that she can make. So like, by the way, this is business purpose-wise. Purpose-wise.
Super convincing.
Yeah.
Business purpose-wise.
This is for business.
I'd already be like, all right, what?
What?
I'm liking some fitness models. There's gonna be like, booty pics and there's gonna be stuff like that. But just let you know, like, it's not like I'm cheating or anything. This is just Instagram. You can't take it that seriously. I hope you know I'm gonna be doing that tomorrow.
I love how he does this.
Just like
Booty pics and he like.
Yeah.
I'll be liking the booty pics tomorrow, so be aware.
And she
3 o'clock.
goes off
Really?
for like 10 minutes,
And you're like,
shitting on my life. She's like, why don't you just go ahead and cheat on me? Or why don't you go tell people that I'm not good enough and that you need this? And she went off for 10
Had her
minutes. I'm
dig a
just sitting
hole.
there smiling at her. And she's like, why are you freaking smiling? Why are you smiling? I was like, baby, I would never do that to you. I'm like, but you did that to me like 2 days ago.
You had a screenshot, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And I was like, I just want to let you know, everything that you just said is how you feel about yourself. I'm like, why would you do that to me? You really think I don't satisfy you like that? And she just started, her eyes watered because she couldn't fight it. Like, she literally just shit on herself.
Like
And I would
everything
do
she
that
said about you
all
is
the time.
what she thought about herself.
Yeah, I just made her like
I
reflect
feel
on
like
herself.
That's a
you're
great
able
way
to do that on repeat, because like,
Oh, you do it all the time.
well, you through the different relationships. Because if you did that through a long-term relationship, it would get to the point of like, George, shut up. like, I know what you're doing right now, and you do this all the time. Like, they catch on eventually, but for new
But
relationships,
you gotta be clever and keep coming up with new things.
See, you're also an actor, so that helps.
Oh, it's crazy. One time, so my ex was into motorcycles. And I told her when we first dated, I go, listen, if you want to be in a relationship with me, you can't ride a motorcycle. I'm not giving you the, like, I'm not controlling you. It's just, I'm not going to fear if my girlfriend's going to die. Like, I can't. I'm a panicker.
I'm not controlling you, but I am.
No, this is before we dated, so I gave her the ultimatum. I was like, listen, we could date, but I'm not going to start anything that I'm going to be terrified of.
Upfront,
Yeah. So that was straight off the bat.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, of course. Like, I'll get rid of it. I don't even ride it that much in LA. Then I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, because here's the thing, like, I don't want my kids to do it, and then I'm just gonna have a freaking panic attack.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then one time I was listening to her, and she was telling me about how she remembers her mom passed away. And she was like, I remember how my mom would ride motorcycles, I should remember. So I was like, oh, I'm like, I just removed her memories from her mom. So I got us both bikes. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna learn how to ride a bike, and we're gonna do this together.
Twist.
Yeah, so like, that's months later. I was like, I'm just gonna do
The
it.
side cart, George is in the side cart.
Yeah, right?
Right, with
Just
like
a
those
helmet.
little glasses on that they put on dogs.
Yeah, but I couldn't just drop this on her like this, right? Like, I can't be like, oh, by the way, I'm coming to meet your parents in Vancouver. Your family in Vancouver, and then here's 2 new bikes. It was too nice. I needed to do something for it. So I had the whole house decorated in like roses and candles and like all this stuff. And I put a PlayStation 4 on the counter. And she walks in, and I was like, surprise. I knew how much you love this. And she was like, trying not to break my heart. So she's like, oh my God, this is like so sweet. You could tell she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why did you get me a PlayStation 4?
Some girls would be like, woo. This
Yeah.
one was like,
Not into games at all.
Yeah.
So like I was like, you know how you always said like you wish you could play games with me all the time? Like this is it, like this is it. This is like our anniversary.
Dreams
gift.
come
Yeah,
true.
she's like-
Yeah, she's like, oh my God, thank you so much.
almost crying because she's so disappointed.
Yeah, she's horrible. And then like later on during the day, I was like, babe, I got you bikes. Like this is mine. It's not yours.
Yeah. Aw.
And so like that was that.
I feel like those are the best surprises though, like the little bit of disappointment.
Always
to
set them
the
up.
Lower expectations.
That's what my mom would always do at Christmas. She would always put our Christmas presents out, but then she wouldn't like. But
Put 'em
like we
all.
all had like a big one, and she'd always like hide it and then bring
like,
it out.
and this.
And everyone like Christmas is done. You're like, okay, I opened all my presents. I didn't get what I want, and then
The last
summer
one.
go into the basement.
Mine did
Dun,
that too.
dun, 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 dun. Really?
I did that for my sister 2 years
Moms
ago.
all fucking steal from each
Except
other.
for not a basement.
Not original mom.
My mom walked on the roof like she was Santa Claus.
Well,
That's
your
a
mom
little
takes it.
excessive.
No, I believed in Santa for the longest time.
She's like 23 years old. She
Yeah.
goes, you don't believe in Santa?
Yeah, I'm like weirdo.
At
On my
her
roof,
college,
though.
Yeah.
her mom's on the college.
I'm like, Santa came to college.
To the dorm.
Just and the Easter Bunny too.
Your mom's a real one for doing that.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'd be
100%.
like, bitch, Santa doesn't exist.
We had a tape recorder out for the Easter Bunny, and then she would just go on the tape recorder. We play it back the next morning and hear on
You're
the tape
joking.
recorder. Yeah, and then
Dude.
footprints of Easter
Your mom's
bunnies
so much
through the
nicer
house.
than mine. My mom was, I could not, because
Maybe just like she got like a little creative.
no, okay, I wasn't
She's
allowed
super
to
nice, though.
believe in Santa. I wasn't allowed to believe in the Easter Bunny. I come from a
That's
really
what my sisters do
religious
with
home
her
too,
kids. Yeah.
where it's like it's paganism, where it's
Yeah.
like God, like we celebrate Easter because Jesus died on the cross. We celebrate Christmas because,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, so
I
that's
get
why.
it.
So my mom's like, no, the Easter
I
Bunny
get
is
it.
not real.
My niece is gonna be just like you because that's how my sister's raising my niece and nephew too.
Yeah.
It's like no fairies, no Easter Bunny, like you know. And I had to fight to like not talk. Like it's hard for me because I'm like Santa, oh. Like, don't want to talk about Santa, don't want to talk
Yeah,
about
I think
Easter
when I
Bunny.
was really little, they kind of messed around with it. But then I got to the point where it's like, okay, no, we celebrate these holidays because of these reasons. And
Yeah,
it's,
which
you
is-
know,
I get it.
So that's kind of how I'll be. Like when my kids are really little, it's like just to play around with it and then be like, okay, these are the real facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Grab
I
your
love that.
notebook. Grab your notebook. and,
Yeah.
Okay, mom.
Yeah,
She's like
but those
one.
are some of my
Like, I'm
best
educating
memories.
you.
Like some of my best memories are like of that, like just the imagination of it all.
Yeah,
and I
my-
think that's what it is.
Yeah, 100%. My mom has a short term. Like she does. Like she's fun, but she's
Yeah.
like over it when she's over it. This is how she broke the news to me. I was in the back seat. I go, "Hey, mom, is Santa real?" She goes, "Yeah, of course, honey." I go, "Really?" And she goes, "Yes, honey." I go, "Really?" She goes, "Yes." I go, "No, like really?" She goes, "No, he's not real." And I was like, I was like, "What?"
Well, that's what you get for being annoying.
I was annoying as hell.
yeah.
You
I never got a tooth fairy. My dad goes, "You want me to pay you for your stinky tooth that's out of your mouth?" No.
I was pulling teeth out. I was like, all right.
That's why they didn't want me to do it, because they knew my dumb ass would be like, get like a candy.
I was like, let's get that money. All right, so let's dive into the honey pot.
Amanda would do that. She's a little hustler. She's like, she's like slamming her door with the floss. She's like, I need that.
Gotta buy that cell phone somehow. So into the honey pot, this is where our honeybees write in their diary entries and they get our advice on their love life. So George, that'll be you giving advice today.
Yeah, we're just gonna tap out. You're gonna do your thing.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna rock it. So if you guys want to send in your diary entries, you can at diary@ohoneydiary.com.
Oh, this is cute. I like this.
Yeah. So fan question number one.
We like to be cute sometimes.
And we like to say, oh, honey.
So say it.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey. I've always known I was different, feeling more like a guy than a girl. I'm also attracted to guys too. I've been researching gender changes and all of that online, and it's something I really want to bring up to my parents. I don't know if they would support it, and I don't want to scare them, but I feel like it makes sense for me. Should I talk to them about it?
Ooh, this is a tough one, but I already have the answer to it.
Well, that's good.
So I'm gonna look at the camera because I feel like she or he might be watching. To me and you, I'm a stranger to you. So at the end of the day, I could love you for sure, but no one's gonna love you more than your parents. So if you feel like your parents are not going to accept this, you got it all wrong. Because at the end of the day, your mom and dad are gonna love you unconditionally regardless of the situation. So you shouldn't be getting advice from me. You should be sitting down with your parents and asking them what to do next.
Okay. That's good.
So he's handing it off to the parents.
Yeah.
He's like, we're handing that question off. It's not for us.
Yeah. They're like, George, why didn't you give advice? No, I think I agree with that. I think no matter what it is, what you decide to do, if it's for you, even if they don't agree with it, you're going to have a hard time in the beginning, but then it's going to eventually they're going to get over it. You know? Mm-hmm. And then, but it depends too. You're younger, so I mean, gender changes, like they require, it's a process, like surgeries, like all that stuff as well. So I think if that's something that you want, normally I would say wait until you're fully developed and then kind of go under.
In a relationship standpoint, like not that I could put myself in your shoes because I'm not, but if I could tell you what I wanted at the age of like 15 is completely not what I wanted now. Like, not that this is the same page, but like when you grow, so does your taste in everything, in beauty and in tasting of food, in quality of the person you want to share your life with. Everything changes because you develop, your mind grows, and you realize what you wanted now is not what you're gonna want later. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna be the same person I am when I'm 30.
Right, and there's so many things that I wanted to do when I was like 15, 16 that my mom didn't let me do that now I'm like, thank you, Mom. Yeah. Because there's like, I wanted my belly button pierced. I wanted all these things. Like, I've never wanted tattoos.
I regret getting my belly button pierced, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
so I never wanted it. I never wanted it now.
I got it, and then I saw the belly button ring hole.
So I'm like,
that's for life.
I would never have a belly button to this day. But if I
relating
would
to
have got
belly
a pierced, I
button
would have had
wrinkle.
that. No, but we can't relate to it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying
I get it.
like I'm so happy that I never got a tattoo because I don't want tattoos. So maybe back then, if I really wanted one, today I would be like, oh my God, I hate this tattoo. You know, so it's like don't make permanent decisions when you don't even know who you are really yet. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
you change.
Yeah.
Do you have another one, or is that just the one for today?
Oh,
we
we have
have two.
another one.
Oh, boom, let's go.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
two.
summary for that though. Let's give a summary. I like giving summaries.
Summary?
Yeah, summary. Talk to your parents, right?
Yeah. Oh,
You
you
know,
want me to
for-
say it again?
No, I think
No, we
think
just
the summary-
summarize it,
Yeah.
like-
Oh, yeah. So at the
Summary
end
of
the
it
day,
all would be.
you don't know what you want right now fully. I would discuss it with your loved ones and just keep it in the books, and then maybe you do it in the future, or maybe you don't. But I wouldn't do this alone.
Don't
do
jump
it
the
alone.
gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never go it alone.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just like break out in
This is
songs.
a
I
big
probably
decision.
should.
Sommer Ray.
Any big decision in life, always give time and let maturity like bring you there.
100%.
Yeah.
Even in arguments, back to the relationship thing, always wait like 48 hours before you talk to the person, because you might
yeah.
not have the same feeling.
Yeah, never be impulsive with things. So.
Yeah.
Impulsive.
All right, number 2.
I am really confident and successful in my career and also did really well in school. For some reason, even though I have confidence in myself in those things, I am so insecure when it comes to dating. I don't feel as though I am valuable enough, and that affects my dating life because the guys don't see me as valuable. Probably because that's what I am projecting. How can I make myself as confident and successful in dating as I am in my career?
I guess the answer would be, when you're doing your schoolwork, you don't just sit down and take the test and just know all the answers. There was time before that. So when you're sitting there and you're studying what needs to be learned, that's how you know how to ace the test. So you need to learn more about yourself. You need to know what you love, and you need to conquer that. Because at the end of the day, the sexiest thing on a woman and a man is confidence. When somebody walks into the room and knows who they are, people want it. So when you're projecting love, you're projecting why the person would even want to be interested in you. And if you're not selling it to yourself, what makes you think any other man's gonna want that? The reason you feel that way is not because men walked up to you and were like, hey, by the way, you suck, I don't want anything to do with you. You feel that way, so you need to change that. You need to find the things that you love about yourself. You need to conquer it. You need to focus on loving yourself. So that way, when you're in the relationship, you're not worried about, oh man, does he want Sarah from art class? Or am I not as pretty as so-and-so? Or maybe I'm not as this person. You're going to be in that relationship and be like, man, I rock. And these are cool qualities, and that person's lucky to be with me. It's kind of like a car salesman. I know it sounds really cheesy, but like if you go to a car salesman and he's like, yeah, this Toyota Corolla, it kind of sucks. Honestly, the airbag sucks. I don't know if the seatbelts work. You're going to be like, I don't want this car. Why would I want this car? But if the salesman is like, yeah, dude, this is like mint condition, you know? It's like back in the day, it's a classic. The seatbelts, it does that loud click. It knows it's reassuring that you're going to be safe. Like if you could just change your perspective on yourself, you could change the perspective that other people are going to see you in.
There you go, mic drop.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
That was great.
So back to your relationships, George.
Yeah, hit
Things
me.
down.
I've had some crazy
He doesn't
relationships.
practice what
have-
he preaches.
No.
Yeah, right? Nah, I learned. I had to learn.
Yeah.
It's not that nobody makes mistakes. I'm probably going to make mistakes in the next relationship.
Well, a lot of this you learn life lessons too that you're able to share with other people through your mistakes.
Yeah, of
So
course.
it's like, some of the best stuff. Did you ever cheat on anybody before?
I can't lie.
Yeah.
I had to confess things to my ex that like all my guys were like, dude, you're an idiot. Why would you even start that?
Like, I gotta get off
I
my
can't
chest.
sleep. Literally, I cannot.
Yeah, you have a conscience.
No, like it's just weird. I cannot. Here's the thing, back to the religion thing. So like, my
I feel
real
like I'm a Jim Carrey liar.
Yeah.
I just can't.
can't do it. Can't do it. So my whole life revolves around my religion. And that's why I always say people should base us off of their higher power. I'm not saying go follow Christ. I'm just saying that works for me. But like my God reflects me off of forgiveness. So I have to be forgiven to move on and do better things in life. So if I'm sitting next to a human being that I love and I'm doing wrong, I need to be forgiven. Even though she doesn't know I made that mistake, I got to get forgiven and move on. Because no mistakes that I make are like overlooked. Like there's not a mistake that I can make where it's gonna be like, oh, this is the end of the relationship. Because I don't make dumb mistakes. I'm like, you're never gonna catch me drinking with another sexy girl and putting myself in a situation. Never gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Because you know yourself.
Yeah, here's the thing. Did I say like good men cheat? It's not that they're weak. It's just you put yourself in a situation. It's like, yo, the higher risk you put yourself in, it's bad for you and only you. So like if you're like, I'll give you an example. I was in Australia last year, and there was a girl that I had a crush on for 8 years. 8 years.
That's a long time.
8 years, guys.
8 years.
How did you know about her?
She went to high school.
Oh, okay.
And I just grabbed this mic. Like an idiot. Sorry.
He's just like pulling it off of him. He's like, oh.
I'm just like talking to him. Like, anyways, guys, listen. So 8 years. 8 years, and short story is I felt like there was a vibe there. And it was right at the end of my relationship where I knew deep down like this relationship was gonna end like any day now. Like we were always fighting. We're always talking about breaking up. And I'm in Australia. I'm in another country. And she goes, "You want to go do this? And, like just do some stuff." But I kind of felt like it was leading towards like more. And I felt the vibe. And I was like, "Oh my God, I've been waiting so long for this." So I was like, I could just see where it goes. But then I was mentally like, how would you feel if this was you? And like on top of that, like what if your relationship works out? And then you have to sit on that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it's not worth this. I just respectfully was like, listen, like, I don't think it's appropriate. I have a girlfriend, and I don't think that she'd be okay with it. So I'm gonna say no to this.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, we're just doing it as friends. But like, you got to be smart. Like people are like, oh, dude, no.
Yeah.
If you're taking 6, 7 shots with a really hot girl, I'm telling you, it's going to a bad place. Like you're gonna cheat. Like don't put yourself in that situation. So I was like, no alcohol, no girl. And I like slept. And it was funny because me and my dad were sharing the room because I flew him out to Australia. My dad looked at me and goes, "You're so stupid." He's like, "Your relationship's not gonna work. Go take this. Don't be dumb." And I was like, "No, I can't do it." As soon as I touched down in California, she sat me down. She broke up with me. I was so bummed, and I wasn't bummed that she broke up with me. I was like, "Why didn't you just send me a text like or something?"
Like when I was there, come on. She's like evil almost.
Yeah,
like,
she knew. She's like, "I'm just gonna wait it out."
Yeah.
And on top of that, she was cheating on me the whole time.
Oh.
Damn it.
Well, you know what? I like how it didn't change your perspective on things. Like
no, I hate when people are like, "Oh, what do they say now?" They're like, my God, it's such a popular word. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Jaded?
Jaded. Oh, yeah,
jaded.
Yeah.
My last girlfriend do this. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
dude, your last girlfriend sucked. Your last boyfriend sucked. Get over it. It's like, it's not everybody's
It's not
bad.
you, it's them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just move on,
And
dude.
if it was you, then, change yourself.
And there's so many people, like, I'm not going to mention who it is, but we know a
Yeah.
couple that recently broke up, and she would keep reflecting her new boyfriend off of her old boyfriend.
Yeah.
I sat her down. I was like, yo, you're going to lose something amazing if you keep bringing up your dirty laundry from your past now. Like, stop it. People like to fight. I feel like people love to fight.
They love it's drama, entertainment. People feed
No,
off
but
of it.
remember we had that one guy on. We had a heart stop. We had a love specialist. He was saying that all we want to do in life is feel something and like connect with our heart. And sometimes when you're fighting, you start feeling something again. So remember what he was saying? I feel like it was
but
true.
he wasn't promoting fighting.
No, but he was saying why people do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, people argue all the time because here's the thing: conflict is better than nothing. A lot of girls with conflict because they feel like their man's leaving, so they'll do anything to like make it stay. And I said girls, but the only reason I said that is because I'm on the opposite side. Men do that too. But yeah, is there any questions that you guys want? I feel like I'm the love doctor now.
No, you are the
Yeah,
doctor.
that's our second love doctor.
That's why you're here, George.
Oh
Surprise.
man, let me know. I got advice all day.
Well, I know you have what is it called? The theory?
We're not breaking this up.
No, what is it?
The formula.
The formula. You have a formula, George.
Is this like
We
the
all know
Krabby
it.
Patty formula?
This is
better.
Better than the
Better
Krabby
than the
Patty.
sauce.
People like pay for this formula.
No, I haven't sold it. There's people a lot. Okay, so Logan brought it up. Damn it, Logan. Logan brought it up on his podcast, and I had like over 50 or 60,000 DMs.
Let's answer all those DMs right now.
Yeah, right.
What's the answer?
I can't tell you. I'll tell you what it is, but what it's about. So the formula is, so I lost my virginity at 19 because I was waiting till marriage. And the girl that I was with for 9 years, like, cheated on me with my best friend. I had a horrible past relationship.
George.
My wife better be like
people
amazing.
People are going to take from this, don't be a good guy because you get f***ed.
No, but you don't. Like, George is happy. He didn't take it and make it a negative impact on his
absolutely
life.
not. Like, my life's amazing.
You just learned what girls not to go for, and then, it's like you're improving the girlfriends as you go.
Of course.
For what you want.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Trust me, I have a great life. I'm not like struggling in the love life. It's a great life. I have great times. But I was waiting until I was 19. But here's the thing, like, I was extremely sexual. Like, it was like, especially the tension was rising in me. So I was like losing my shit. Oh my God, I was losing my shit. Like, I was like, literally, I need this right now. I need this right now.
Like, I'm a man.
Yes. So I was like watching porn like every normal kid who grows up. Watching porn. And I realized when I was watching this, I was like, yo, this is
Yeah, okay.
This can't be it. This can't be it. This
Yeah.
can't be the way, like, you have sex with your girlfriend every single day. First of all, it's, like, not practical. Like, you gotta change, right? Like, what happens when you have work or something like that? You gotta stretch before all this.
Yeah.
So,
You gotta, like, prep for this.
So
That's what they do. That's the intro. It's like foreplay.
Foreplay. Oh no, I'll get into it. I'll give it a little bit of it. So
we're getting a little bit of the
a tiny
formula?
bit.
Oh, good.
So I came up with this
We'll
thing.
get the whole formula. Then.
We will. We're girls.
So the
Logan,
little
Logan doesn't have the pussy. Pussy power.
No, he does. It's Mike. Mike's gonna be like, yo, what the fuck? So anyway, so I was 19 and I was like, oh, dude, I need this. So I started. This is where the sadness comes in. I started Googling shit, like weird shit, like what the structure of a female vagina looks like all these things. What their back
It's
should
great
be
for you to know.
arc.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I got into weird things. So finally, I was like,
The arc of the
at the time, I learned like so much that I was like, all right, I need to put this to use.
You know, all the guys have their notepads out right now. So.
Yeah. I'm not saying a thing about it.
No, come on.
But
give us something.
I gotta put this to use. I'm just picturing him like looking at his dick.
Okay, so
just like, come on, man, we gotta do this.
would you say part of the formula is learning how the body of the other sex, for sure?
Realistically, the formula is to make the girl orgasm as many times as she can in like an hour.
So that's the formula.
And what is the formula for?
So we waited
What
all
is,
this
like-
time for this.
So
we knew we'd get it.
Yeah.
So easy. It was
no,
easier
the
than I
formula
thought.
is what you do. It's not what it
How?
can do.
Okay. How to
So
make?
we haven't gotten the formula.
No, you won't get the formula.
What does the formula do?
Okay, so what happened was my buddy Logan and
Yes.
Mark.
Yeah, as if we don't know him.
I was like going out. Well, they don't know.
Oh yeah, I keep thinking.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
we have cameras. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, what happened was they kept getting like girls that would have slept with me, like talked about me to other girls. So finally got to the point where like
You build a
this is
reputation
like,
for yourself.
This is a thing. Even Alyssa came up to me. She's like, "Yo, if I hear another fucking girl talk about you in bed, I'm gonna lose my shit."
Yeah.
So finally, Logan pulled me aside. He's like, "Yo, I have a really hot girlfriend. I can't last with her at my trip." And I was like, "Oh, it's cool. I'll give you my formula. It's a joke." He's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." So on the whiteboard, I drew out my game plan, like Plan A, Section C. Like I drew out like a thing.
You think girls are that easy?
His girlfriend called him and she was like freaking out afterwards. He called me to thank you so much. Like in the
So it's not the formula to get the girl.
no, not to get the girl.
It's
That's
the
your
formula
job.
to please the girl.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a
He went from being a
formula for the
Minuteman to, like-
bedroom
Yeah.
to satisfy the girl in the bedroom.
Exactly.
Okay, that's what the formula
Because
is.
that's why I told him like relationship. Listen, you could be the nicest guy in the world, but if you're not putting it down for your girlfriend, she's gonna be like, all right, we gotta get this going.
Yeah.
Like needs to wrap this
So
up.
are you planning on selling the formula?
I've
or-
actually been thinking about it. That's how many DMs I got. I think I might just have like a
No, you need to give it to the people.
nah.
Yeah, you can't. You
Nah,
can't
because
just
what if
sell-
I and with a girl and she's like, oh, you're trying to do the formula on me? I'm like, what? I invented that shit. Like,
But now they know if you.
You need to make it into an ebook.
by the way, that has only helped my favor. I've had like girls DM me saying like, let's see if this is true. Like it's bad. It got to the point where I was like, yo, I feel like a mad hot chick. Like after this whole thing went out, like I feel like you girls, like when you guys walk around, you guys don't have to do shit. You guys don't even have to be famous. You don't have to be rich. You guys walk around, guys are like, what the fuck? They like look at you. You're hot.
Well,
right?
that's guys looking at girls in general.
Guys aren't easy. Guys aren't hard to please.
You meet
Doesn't take much.
especially the young guys with their hormones just like going crazy.
All you need is a vagina.
Yeah.
They know you have a vagina. That's all it takes.
I mean, yeah. Sometimes.
All
Who's
right.
to say?
So yeah, that's the formula.
What is the formula?
Can't tell
Dude,
you.
I'm so confused.
The formula is
I feel like we're getting right now.
I feel like this is a strategy to get girls is to make up that there's
Tiny
a
bit of
formula.
formula.
And then
I'll tell you the formula, my man.
There's probably no formula at all. It's just like, guys, I have this really good formula.
Just imagine I just go home like there's no formula.
Yeah, that's the formula.
That's the
It's
crazy
lie about the
formula.
formula.
You know
and
what
there
I
is
feel
no
like? I feel
formula.
like plankton right now.
Yeah, what do you
We're
want?
plankton.
Yes. No, he's plankton.
No,
Wait,
I have the formula.
He's
Mr.
SpongeBob.
Krabs.
He's
You're Mr.
SpongeBob,
Krabs.
and we're
Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob, and
Yeah.
we're
Plankton.
Yep.
All right, we'll get it.
We'll
We don't
get
need it.
We don't need it. We have.
Yeah.
What is this?
We're
thing
good.
called?
We're good.
What is this thing called?
The chum bucket.
The chum bucket. We are.
Did Johannes and Bennett get the formula? 'Cause
I don't think Johannes ever needed the formula.
Yeah?
I mean, you should probably know that.
no, I mean, I think we're good.
Yeah. No, Johannes.
We're like,
doesn't know.
we've never thought about it.
Just imagine. Just look at Johannes. Like,
After this, Amanda's like, hey, slip him.
Give us something.
Okay, I'll give you one. I'll give you a position. So some females, when you're first of all, foreplaying is a thing. Like guys that just jump right into it, you're dumb. It's like you need to stretch. Like an athlete, when you're about to go into a workout, you gotta get the body
That's very
going.
true.
Yeah. So if you're like a type of guy that's
Validated.
like, no, I never go down. It's disgusting. You're a pussy. Get over yourself. So that's one. But also you have to. So I'll give you one move. I grab 2 pillows. So say I'm working it, and I realize that the girl's back
50
keeps
Shades.
arching. Right.
You're like, you're hurting your back, sweetheart.
So the reason why
Hey, let me help you.
it's such an uncomfortable thing to like say, but okay. So for the
Yeah,
reason.
to 2 girls. Usually he's doing it with his bros. Okay.
Yo, this is dog.
Once you
This is
hit it
dog,
from the
dude.
back,
No.
then you do and now it's like you have to take it. To
I would love for you guys, like whoever has watched Logan's podcast, to just compare these two of how George tells the story. Like,
Just like-
Versus now he's like
biting
laying on
my
a
lip.
little
No,
sack.
they're
and he's
hating
just
us
like,
right now because we're not. All right, give it.
Yeah,
give
that's
it.
it. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, all right,
he's
give
like, I
it.
have my notepad ready.
All right, I don't even remember which one I was
No,
saying.
the back, the pillow.
okay,
The arch of the back.
So if guys don't know, females have different shapes of vaginas. So it's not like a dick. A dick just hangs out and just like, yo, this is my dick.
Yeah, there's different shapes of.
There's different, well, yeah.
And most vaginas look not
But
similar.
I'm
I've
saying
seen a
the,
lot of
the
vaginas.
entry of it, the entry of it.
Oh, yeah.
So some girls that arch their back, they're arching their back so you can hit their G-spot. But sometimes in the mix of it, they're getting tired from arching their back because it hurts to be like this the whole time. So they go like that. Guys don't know that. So when I see a woman doing this, I put like 2 or 3 pillows up there so they're completely hitting the G-spot without even trying.
Oh.
So I'm arching their back for them.
Yeah,
He's like looking. He's like,
Listen,
"Are you watching your back?"
Cosmo.
Oh, some of the shit that I read was from Cosmo. Like, I'm not saying I invented it. I'm saying I just put a bunch of shit that I know together. It's a formula.
I'm like, wait.
I don't know if I got that one
read
from
that.
Cosmo though.
Because I've heard about that too. Like put the
Oh, there's so
pillow
many things.
underneath your lower back. Yeah.
So you just hit them all. You just do all the things.
That's
the
it's
formula.
chemistry. It's like you have to read the body. You have to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, study your partner.
Some
So
girls
you're
you
a
just look at
body
though,
expert.
and then it's done. Some girls you're like, you're not. Some girls like,
What was
Wow.
that sound effect,
The
George?
sound.
that's my
Oh, gosh.
that's like my clean
you're,
version of an
so
orgasm.
you're popping cherries
Just
over
like,
here?
oh here.
No.
Actually, yo,
No.
the fun fact, I've never
George.
taken a girl's virginity.
No.
Never.
No, I don't believe
Yeah,
it.
I'm kind of bummed, dude. Like I kind of want to be like the girls first.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
look at
I'm
me.
pretty sure with this said Cosmopolitan magazine. Look it up.
If they ever need a writer, I mean.
No, I'm sure you got a lot of sources. You did your research. You came up with your own
Formula.
essay about it.
Just like
and
the
yeah.
Krabby Patty is not anything that nobody knows. It's
Yeah, it's
just
just a bunch of shit that's put together.
You're like the Wright brothers.
I'm gonna write a book, and it's called "Be a Gentleman Until the Bedroom Door's Locked." No girl wants a gentleman in the sheets.
So you're like
that's a nuts. Well, I'll give you guys that. No girl wants a gentleman in the sheets. No girl's like you. Don't ever ask a girl if you liked it. Don't ask.
Oh yeah, don't.
Don't do that. Don't. It's just good for you. Don't do that. Just it could be the worst you've ever done. Just be confident about it. Like you love this.
Is this good for you?
love this shit.
Look at me. You love this.
Imagine, but if she says no, she genuinely doesn't like it.
Yeah,
Like, listen to that.
Then you're in a whole different scenario.
She's
You're
like,
in
no, I
courtrooms.
actually hate it.
Is this good for you?
No
It's the
means
worst I ever
no,
had.
legit.
So I'm the best, worst you've ever had? I'll take it.
I'll take it.
All right, so pillows and confidence and
I thought you said humping for a second. I don't know.
well,
Confidence.
oh,
It
confidence.
sounded like it said humpidence.
Oh, I
right.
got a question for you girls.
Oh.
Is sex important to you guys? Like, is there an amount of sex that you guys would want? Is there times in your life that you're like, I just don't want sex right now?
I mean, yeah, I think I don't know.
Oh, look at that. I put them on the spot.
Yeah, it's important.
It's
Yeah.
There's certain times where I'm just busy and I just am like,
Yeah, and then, hence the foreplay. That's so important too. If your boyfriend or significant other or husband, you know, some people believe marriage.
Initiating is a big step
Yeah.
for females, too. A lot of females don't like to initiate.
Oh, backfire on the question. Because being like super Christian and religious,
Yeah.
sex before marriage.
Yeah, it's a big demon I battle.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're like,
Actually,
that's
like,
my vice.
Yeah, that's a
like
big,
I like sex.
that's a big demon. It's like, God, is it my fault?
He's like,
You
I ain't
invented that. That's
perfect.
really
I'm
hot.
human. Are you trying to I know you did
I was celibate for
yeah.
like 8 months.
Yeah, and then you got out of it.
A lot of masturbation, I'm gonna be honest with you.
But that's not, does that count? Oh my God,
no.
don't do that.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching. This is the OHoney podcast. Make sure you check out George's links below. No.
I'm gonna write a book.
Maybe you can get his formula.
And maybe you can get some more of his formula. But
Please
we got a
do not
little
DM
bit
me.
for you.
I am not going to give you the formula. I will DM
Well,
you.
give the girl.
Well, every time.
I'm saying they're gonna do it with you.
Guys, we're ending this. Anytime. Season 2, when George comes on, we'll get a little bit more. So stay tuned.
Formula 2.0.
Yeah. The never-ending formula, because.
Oh wait, hold on, before we end it, I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
See, we thought it was over, but it's not.
That's another part of the formula.
And this is just a question I just want to ask.
It never ends.
If the love of your life came up to you and was like, yo, let's mix these things up. Let's get another partner in bed.
No.
Okay, cool. Me neither. I hate that shit.
No.
That's another part of the formula, agreeing to what the girl says.
Yeah, that's page 1. Yeah. She says yes, it's yes.
Yeah. No, I think
says
that's
no,
way
it's no.
too many weird.
Cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
And
sex is
you
between
say,
two
I don't
people,
care.
so
Yeah.
too many is I'm jealous person too, and what's mine is mine. Touch and I'll cut.
Drop the dolphin.
Me
in
slice
the
it at
I'll cut
pie.
your dick off, bro.
Thank you guys
That
so
laugh
much
is
for
crazy.
watching.
I know, it's
It
crazy.
is. It's scary. Because it's like she says it and then she's like, it's like, what's behind
Because it's
that?
like I'm not kidding, but laughing.
Help.
Alrighty, guys, thanks for watching.
Guys, listen to us in the car, on the go, at the gym, while having sex. I don't know.
Just imagine, that'd be so comfortable.
Because they need the formula while
Apple
doing it.
Podcasts, iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out George's links below if you dare. And
I'm trying to do the link thing on my arm.
I know, I'm controlling everything. I'm trying to end this podcast.
I know she's squeezing me so hard. Bye, guys.
We love you. Oh, honey.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey, no.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey.
Oh, God.
Oh, Honey. Diary LLC makes no warranty or guarantee as to the accuracy or sufficiency of the information featured in this podcast. The information and recommendations presented in this podcast are general opinions only.
This podcast should not be considered professional or expert advice. Reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own discretion.
Oh, honey.